Good morning. This is Catherine Curran from the Minnesota Center for Systemic Constellations with a little cold this morning. And I'm here with Tanja Meyburgh, who I am so excited to introduce as our workshop facilitator at the end of February, February 27th to March 1st, where the theme will be reclaiming ancestors, connecting to the medicine of our ancestral roots. Um, Tanja is a perfect person to do this, being from South Africa, where she is very close to the indigenous roots as well as Hellinger's uh, work in on himself in before he started Constellations. I don't know how you look at it, Tanja, but that's what I think of for
Mm,
Hellinger in South Africa.
mm,
She is the author of this exciting new Constellations book, Reclaiming Ancestors, A Modern Path to Ancestral Ways. And there are many more things I could say about her, um, but then you'd be listening to me talk, not Tanja. So, without further ado, here's Tanja Meyburgh. And my first question to you, Tanja, is what's your history with constellations? How did you come to this work?
mm. Thanks so much, Catherine. I first encountered the work in 2002 in Cape Town in a living room where Dr. Ursula Franke was on holiday in Cape Town and she did a workshop for us. And nobody put up their hand to do a constellation. And I just put up my hand. I didn't really even know what we were about to do. I was a psychology student. Um, and I had been told that I needed to be initiated into an ancestral tradition, which I didn't really know how to follow or what to do. And then when I experienced constellation work, I felt that I'd found something that would be my life's work. So I started through my own personal experience and doing my own constellation. And yeah, I very quickly went to Germany, started a training here with some of the first generation teachers from Germany. So my involvement really was pioneering the work in South Africa and also with a special interest in what parts of it originated in South Africa, because we could definitely recognize that the work had some African roots, or that it had some elements that felt really truly African and that people experienced as South African when they came to those initial workshops. And so, yeah, I've been training facilitators to 2-year training for the last 25 years. I've been involved in the community at various levels, and it's my life's work. It's my passion, and I think it's moving beyond constellations now. There's a lot of other things that I am trained in and that I love. And so being an integrative sort of pioneering person, there's always something new and exciting that's being integrated. But I really feel quite um what's the word? I feel quite loyal to the roots of the work and to some of the really important fundamental principles of constellation work. So you won't see me going off in a different direction without honoring the teachers that I learned from and the roots that I come from.
Mhm. Right. That's one of the reasons I wanted you to come, so that we do actually know the roots better than a lot of us have. I think it's so important to trace not only our own ancestry, but the ancestry of the work, so
Mhm.
that we understand it in an appropriate and depthful way. So I just wanted to say that. Yeah. Um, can you tell us a little bit about the workshop that we're going to be doing? Reclaiming ancestors, connecting to the medicine of our ancestral roots. You kind of already
Mm.
described it a little bit, you know?
Mm. Well, it's based. I guess the workshop is based a bit out of the book, because in the book I explore my own ancestral roots. I explore the roots of the work in South Africa. I explore the roots of ancestral work and why the West has lost connection with the more indigenous ways of practicing. So, you know, as modern people, how do we find our way back to something that has substance and that can heal and that can also bring a lot of self-empowerment without necessarily going and adopting somebody else's culture or but actually going back into our own ancestry and finding the healing wisdom that's present there, because all of us have healers and ancestors who can offer a lot of wisdom. And so, how do we connect with those ancestors that can offer that and also help us to show up in our lives both in a more integrated way with where we come from, but also as healers or as therapists or as I always think of one of my teachers, Francesca Mason Boring. She says that all of us are healers on some level, just listening to somebody or being in circle or bringing presence and awareness are part of the healing gifts that we all have. But perhaps there's more to be discovered. And I think the workshop that we're going to be doing is really it's about finding some of the unique strengths and the beauty that's available from your ancestors that's present in you now, because it's part of you. It's part of
Mm-hmm.
your body, it's part of your blood, it's part of your bones. I work in a very embodied way, and through that embodiment, we can access quite a lot of information and also find not only the difficulties and the traumas, because I think often the Western mind takes the ancestral work into a more trauma and problem focused way. But in the traditional ways in South Africa, in the lineage that I'm trained in, we focus a lot on building relationships and on communication and on also honoring the things that are beautiful in our ancestry, so that we're not only connected to the traumas and the pain, but also to the rest, that's the resources and the things that can nourish us. And so I think in that way, it's a very nourishing workshop. It's very resourcing, and ultimately, it's to activate us as co-creators, co-creators of a future that we want together, co-creators of our own lives, um, and to bring us into an interconnectedness that feels really supportive
Mm-hmm.
uh, with the people that are our people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. Co-creators of the future. We need that now, don't we? We
do.
probably always need it, but in the United States, Tanya, we need that right now.
But I was wondering why it took the USA so long to invite me. But I really think that maybe there's something to offer now that's really needed. And I think that also has to do with the fact that for me, ancestors are not only lineage ancestors. We also look to other ancestors, for example, the land and to nature and to, it's a different idea of who are our relations and who do we belong to. And I think the land is very much something that is it's a hot topic in the USA at the moment. So let's see what happens when we connect to the land as an ancestor.
Yeah, be interesting. Yeah.
Mm.
For you watching this, I told Tanya I'm in Maiden Rock, Wisconsin, for those of you who are in the area, and I'm looking across Lake Pepin to Frontenac State Park, which is where my Finnish ancestors lived, about 5 miles in. And the whole thing has opened up for me so much here, this time, being in this place, the land, the water. And you said to me today, maybe it had to do with them. I don't know, but it feels like a huge gift. It's not, as you said, it's not just the trauma, It's this amazing gift of feeling connected, not separate from Lake Pepin and the Bluffs. And Tanya's been encouraging me to do this. So anyway, yeah.
Oh,
Um,
so nice to hear you doing your homework, and because it really does work.
yeah,
It really
yeah,
does
that's
work.
right.
And it actually makes life so interesting and magical and exciting
Yes.
when these synchronicities start unfolding and you suddenly find yourself going to a place, and as you're on your way there, an email comes in to tell you that your ancestors were from that place, or whatever these synchronous moments are, and these moments of convergence that happen when you open up to this wider reality and to a deeper understanding of belonging. It's beautiful.
It's amazing. I'm here to tell you right today. Um, Tanya, if there's anything else you want to say about this, why is this a passion for you, this topic, do you think?
I think there's different parts of it for me. I mean, the one having been born in South Africa, I was born in 1975, which was just around the time when the big uprising started that led to apartheid being dismantled in the country. And so it was a very political climate. And I turned 18 and voted for the first time when many people in South Africa voted for the first time. And so I always had this sense of wanting to reconcile people, bring together people who'd been separated, because there was so much separation. And so, having found constellation work where Bert Hellinger spoke specifically about bringing together what has been separated, it felt to me like there was a really strong chord, because that felt like it had always been part of an impulse that I arrived on the planet with, like building bridges, bringing separated things together.
Mm.
And then I think also just the ancestral calling that I received was very difficult to make sense of. So that I found out that I was called into an African lineage tradition. And as
Yeah.
a white South African, I found it very difficult to make sense of that and how to do that with integrity and authenticity. And I do think a lot of people that encounter constellation work, and I certainly see it in my practice, many people that are called to ancestral healing or called to a healing path, but don't have access in a way to teachers or to a lineage, because those lineages no longer exist in their family system, or maybe even we can go so far as they were killed out in the witch hunts, or in knowledge, in the introduction of Christian knowledge that then chose not to include this. Whereas in South Africa, we include it. It's like you can be Christian and you can
Mm.
practice
Oh,
ancestral
interesting.
practices. There's a lot of bringing things together, and I think that's exciting for me. There's always something new. You're never hashing out the same story again and again. Every time you look at it with fresh eyes, and there's always a possibility for it to. I guess it's full of possibilities.
Yeah.
Constellation work and ancestral work, and that's what I'm passionate about. I mean, I can't think of anything worse than having to rehash the same thing all the time and not be able to be on the forefront of systems, understanding systems that are moving, that are changing, what's happening in the world. How's that outer system impacting our family system? How is my experience in my family impacting how I show up in my business? It's so big, and so many possibilities. So I think that's probably part of my passion, is just, yeah, being able to continue being an adventurer and explorer in the human soul.
I feel excited hearing you talk about it. It's very uh enlivening, right? It's very
Mm.
alive, which is what I think we want to be, in
Yes.
a depthful and soulful way. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Those are my questions.
No, I love what I love what you said there now. Just, we want to be alive. We want to feel that we're alive. And I love that as something that we can hold as a wish for our workshop in Minnesota. Feeling
Yeah,
alive and yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
you're welcome. So just to say it again, the name of the workshop is Reclaiming Ancestors, connecting to the medicine of our ancestral roots, and it will be um, from the evening of February 27th through March 1st, which is my birthday, by the way,
Oh,
and March 1st. And we'll be meeting
beautiful.
at the Maplewood Community Center, but there's more about that in the post itself. Okay, thank you, Tanya. I'm gonna stop the recording and
Thank you.
yeah, look forward to more.
Yes, thanks.